Hi everyone, Michael from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au. So this is another segment of our How to Invest in Gold series, and today we're going to look at investing in the different types of precious metals. So particularly gold versus silver, but you've also got platinum, palladium and rhodium in that mix as well. So you may already know in your mind why I'm investing in gold or silver or one of the others. You may already have that all sectioned in your mind and ready to go. But a lot of people don't. They're not sure of the options they've got. They're not sure why they'd favour one over another. They're not sure even sometimes what variety there is out there. So we've spread out almost all of them across here. We're missing palladium, but we'll touch on that in a moment. Your main argument though is between the gold and the silver. Why would I buy one over the other? And that's a really, really good question. So gold, we'll start off with gold in and of itself. It's been around for many, many years, but particularly as an investment metal. We have 5,000 years of history to go on with gold. It's traditionally considered quite a stable investment. By stable, I mean it preserves your purchasing power over time. And I'm not going to repeat it, but we've got a video, we'll link it just above here, on a comparison in Australian dollar terms and in Australian inflation terms of the difference between gold in 1971 versus the average house price and cash and an Australian muscle car I threw in there as well, through to the comparisons in 2020 cents. So traditionally, and you could call me a little bit of a liar over the last 12 months, but traditionally it's been a very stable investment, preserving that purchasing power over time. And that's its big key advantage. It's not its only advantage, but that's its big key advantage over something like silver. Quite often with silver, we tell people it's almost like the slightly more volatile younger brother of gold. So it still has that precious metal wealth preservation trait to it, but it also has quite a lot of industrial uses and industrial demand. And that type of side of it can really start to increase its volatility. So you'll find where gold will come up a small amount or will decrease a small amount, you'll actually find silver will jump quite rapidly. It can jump up, but equally it can jump down fairly rapidly. Again, that's one of its advantages and disadvantages. At the moment, towards the end of 2020, the start of 2021, silver is considered generally to be cheaper than gold in an overall sense. So people see silver as having that more investment potential in the shorter term. That could be right, but not necessarily. And where you're at the moment in your stage of life, in your investment position in life, will decide on if you prefer gold, because maybe I'm really after, look, I'm saving for a house loan. A house deposit, sorry. So I need it to be very stable. I don't want volatility in it. Or maybe I'm an older investor. I don't want the exposure to that volatility. Or maybe, I've got my investments tucked away. I want a little spice in my investment, so I'm going to lean towards something like silver. And we are being very black and white here. We're saying gold or silver. It actually doesn't have to be a one or the other. It's not a binary situation. You could say, well, I want to be conservative. I'm going to take 90% gold, but I'd like just a little bit of spice in my investment. So I'm going to take 10% silver. Or you could do it the complete reverse. Look, I want to be aggressive, but I just want that little bit of volatility, a little bit of stability there. So I'm going to take 20% gold in my investment and 80% silver. All those scenarios play out, and they're all really, really, really relevant questions that you need to both decide on yourself, do a bit of research, but also come back to your bullion dealer and have a conversation with them about, which is better for me in these scenarios. You're not only limited to that gold versus silver as well. So we've got platinum here. Now, if silver is the volatile or slightly overexcited younger brother of gold, then platinum would be the extremely right out there cousin of the pair. Because platinum has traditionally been on a one-to-one basis with gold. We've seen it come down. As gold's gone up, it's come down and stabilised. And so instead of being on a one-to-one basis now, we're more looking at a 2-to-1 ratio. So it has that potential for far more growth. It also has that more potential for industrial uses. If you do some research, you'll see quite a lot of newer technologies in electric vehicles, solar panels, those types of things, catalytic converters, they're leaning far more towards platinum nowadays than maybe a palladium. So it has that extra volatility, that extra industrial demand over and above. Then we start talking about palladium and rhodium. Now we're really starting to get out into the exotics of precious metals, and I'm not going to touch on them very much, but they really can be incredibly volatile. I remember even only about 2 years ago, rhodium was sitting at kind of that $2,500 Australian mark. It's now sitting at about the $20,000 Australian mark. So you can see that's quite a large growth over a very short period of time. So these are the sort of discussions that you're going to need to start having when you start to come to how to invest in gold or how to invest in silver, is which one do I want and in what proportion. We haven't even touched on things like, the size differences. That's a whole can of worms all itself. This bar here, as of today's prices, you're looking at high 70s, low $80,000 Australian in a bar 1 kilo that size. Compare that to silver, which is 1 kilo in size. It's twice as thick, if we look on that, and it's only quote unquote worth kind of $1,100-ish Australian. So to store that sort of quantity of dollar, you're talking large amounts of silver. So these are the conversations you need to have. So like I said, Google is your friend in this case, and YouTube as well. And also your bullion dealer is a really valuable resource. Now, we'd love you to contact us, obviously, and our contact details are on our website, bullionnow.com.au. And we're really, really happy to talk to you on the phone, in person in the store, or via email if you happen to be able to drop us a line that way. But also you can go and see your local, and they should be able to help you as well. Have those discussions, but at the end of the day, make sure you are comfortable with where your investment's at. All right, like, share, subscribe. There's more in this series. We'll answer some of your questions, and I dare say we'll generate plenty more. So that's all for now. We'll talk again soon. See ya.